Last 90 years, I lived on this earth. I breathed the fresh air of God, and I paid nothing for it. And it is because of that sense of gratitude that I am shedding my tears at this point of time. Dear parents, students, teachers, friends, everyone, I'm sure this small little story has a lot of message for every one of us. We are all living in unprecedented times and situations. And at this point of time, the sense of gratitude that is in our heart is immeasurable. We thank God for the gift of life. We thank God for everything that we have in our life, the fresh air, the life that we have, friends and well-wishers that we have, for our parents, for our school, for our education. Thousands of people have died during the last 1 year, but thank God that we are still alive. And I begin this meeting with that sense of gratitude to God for bringing us all together in this evening as members of the Desalide family. Dear parents, let me extend each and every one of you a sincere and hearty welcome at this point of time. Today, we have the parents of both class 1 and 2. The class 1 and 2 parents together, you form 11 sections in the school. And that is a large chunk of the number that we have in the school. Last year, the class 1 students, when they started their session, unfortunately, the lockdown started. And we had the first online parents meeting for the children of the class 1 parents. And we all thought it would end. And as we started the new session, we were well prepared. Everything was ready. We welcomed the new students, class 1 and class 2 students together to the school, thinking that all is going to be normal. But again, the tragedy has struck. Again, we are back to online classes. But thanks to technology, today we are able to have a parents meeting virtually, something which we never thought before. So dear parents, I would like to welcome each and every one of you for this online parents meeting. I really want to thank you for your support, for your encouragement, and more than anything, for the trust that you are putting in SFS School Narangi Guwahati. You have been great friends, companions, supporters, colleagues, and serious stakeholders over the last 2 years. And I really want to thank you. And on behalf of the school management and the teachers, let me extend a sincere and hearty welcome to all the parents, fathers and mothers and guardians of the students of class 1 and 2. So welcome to each and every one of you. At the same time, let me also extend a sincere and hearty welcome to our little ones, those students who were supposed to be here in the school, but unfortunately, they are still having online classes. For the class 1 students, I mean the present class 2 students, 1 year they have completed. And then the second year, they are still starting on online medium. And I really want to thank you. I really want to appreciate you, dear students, for your patience and for being part of the SFS school. And more than all, for being so supportive and cooperative to the teachers. So dear students of class 1 and 2, welcome to each and every one of you for this online parents meeting. I can see some of the faces are there. That is the reason I welcomed them as well. Now, at this point of time, let me extend a sincere and hearty welcome to all the to the vice principals of the school, Father Rijay, Sister Josna, the coordinators, and the teachers of the SFS school Narangi Guwahati. A good number of them who are teaching the students of class 1 and 2, they are all present for this meeting. They have done a fabulous job during the last 1 year of the COVID times. As you know, our school was one of the first schools in Guwahati that started online classes. They used every medium and every resource that was available to ensure that learning was never stopped for our students. Dear teachers, on behalf of all these parents and students, as I thank you, I also extend all of you a sincere and hearty welcome to this meeting. And today we also heard about a resource person named Dinesh Lahoti. As you heard, he was associated with our school for the last 7 years. A career coach, a globally certified career coach, a great mathematician, a scientist, an alumnus of IIT Guwahati, a person who is full of passion for education, for motivating children and parents. And he is an asset for our school, as well as for Guwahati, as well as for our country at large. Dinesh, on behalf of all these parents, I really want to welcome you to this parents meeting. Dear parents, I want to thank you all for ensuring that education is continuously going on or happening for our children. I'm sure all of you are under tremendous pressure. You have your own jobs and responsibilities, and you ensure that your children are provided the best of the smartphones, the laptops, books, uniform, good data package, and everything that is required for the betterment and quality education of your children you are providing. And that too in the midst of tremendous challenges. You have your own duties and responsibilities to look after, and yet you are really fabulous, great parents, and I really want to thank you at this point of time. Dear parents, when children are at home, there is joy, no doubt about it, but then there is also a challenge. And it is not an ordinary challenge, it's a great challenge. Looking after them, caring for them. There is an old saying, home is the first school and parents are the first teachers. Home is the first school and parents are the first teachers. I'm sure none of us will deny that fact, that our school is the first, our home is the first school and our parents are the first teachers. By the time your children reach the school, they have almost completed the starting of their education. The foundation is laid, values are already built up, and attitudes are almost formed. When they reach the school after 5 years, the foundation is unshakable after that. What we do in the school is just keep building layer by layer, little by little, on that which is already built up. Therefore, your value system at home, what you teach them, what you show them, that is going to be very important and critical for the future of our children. So dear parents, look after them well. Be the true parent, be the true teacher to them. Be a teacher, not only in words, but also in actions. That is important. Actions and words that you should speak in a corresponding manner. There shall not be any mismatch between what we speak and what we do. And that is what all of you parents have been doing. So really want to encourage all of you to continue in that great journey. Dear parents, parenting is a huge responsibility. It's a responsibility more than ever that you can more than you can imagine. It's a responsibility that we have chosen to be. But unfortunately, this is a responsibility that we are not trained for. We are not trained to be a good parent. We happen to be parents. We are trained to be good musicians, good architects, good doctors, engineers, scientists, teachers. We can be anything. There are universities and colleges where people are trained for everything except a college or a university in the field of parenting. It is not something that we are trained for. And yet, this is one of the most serious and huge responsibility that every one of us are entrusted with. Forming a child, educating a child, letting him or her grow in this uncertain world. And it is definitely a huge challenge to each and every one of you. But I can see that all of you have been doing it so well. When we look at the children that come to our school, we can feel it how good they are. And if the children are good, have no doubt, the parents are there, great parents at the back of them. And such a refined children come from such a refined parents. And that is what we always feel great about. And we thank God for it. And we thank each and every one of you for it. So, dear parents, this is the first meeting that we have in this year. I hope sooner than later we shall all be back in the school. I believe it won't be as bad as last year. We are all better prepared than before. Government, teachers, schools, parents, all of us are much better prepared this year than before. So there is no tension. Even to use the Zoom, we don't need a training, but other times we really needed it. So once again, thank you so much for making yourself available for this meeting. Hoping to see all of you sooner than later, maybe in the school campus itself. And as you know, we were all ready for the offline parents meeting here in the school, but it couldn't take off. So once again, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, wear your mask, and then sanitize your hands, maintain social distancing to the best of your ability, and have a wonderful time ahead. God bless you, and hope to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for such a heartwarming message. With this, we shall move forward with our meeting. I shall now request Mr. Dinesh Lahoti to begin with his presentation and move forward with the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Priyam. Am I audible? Priyam, can you just confirm?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Dinesh.
Thank you. It was lovely listening to you, Father, like always. Thank you so much. I also am feeling very grateful for this invitation. Good evening, all the parents and the little kids. It's lovely to be among all of you. So the topic of my today's session is what I feel is not only because it's pandemic and it's a situation where the schools have to start online learning, but in general, on the basis of my work that I have been doing with students, with teachers, with parents, with governments, with schools, what I feel is that the role of parent is getting more and more important. And there are a few learnings which I would like to share with all of you. So what I have done in this presentation, I have prepared a small presentation, and what I will be doing is I will be sharing with you some key ideas from neuroscience, from the latest trend and the latest learning about ourselves and how the learning happens. Okay. And then we will have a question answer round. In between, if you have any question, feel free to type in, use the chat box. You can drop in your question. I will try to answer them as in where possible. So first, let's start the session. And I was thinking about the language in which I should start my session. So if you can just quickly use the chat box and tell me which language you are more comfortable. Should I do the session in English, or you feel that I should do it in Hindi? I'm assuming all of you watch Bollywood movies. So a mix of Hindi, English. So if you can just use the chat box and you can give me an idea, English or English, Hindi is fine. So yeah, so please request all of you to use the chat box. That way, chat box, English. So I think most of you want me to do it in English. All right. So we'll do the session in English. And if you have any doubt, feel free to ask even in the end round. Okay. So let me start the session by acknowledging my two great mentors. These are the two women or the two educators which have really impacted the way I used to see education and the way I feel how I used to see the learning in general. The left one, they both are the professors from Stanford University. The left one is Carol Dweck. She's a professor of psychology. And the right one is Jo Boller. She's a professor from in education department, and she's a great math educator. So whatever I am going to share today is based on the work of these two great educators. And the idea is that, as Father was telling, that there is no university, there is nowhere where you can learn about parenting. But definitely, this is a small step from me and my team, where we thought, what if we can tell parents about how does the learning happen, right? So this is a small session on a module, which we say these are the key ideas from neuroscience. Okay. Now, we know about this amazing technology that all of us humans have, which is our brain. But only until like last 10 years or 15 years, we have known how does really the brain work, how does the learning happen. With the rise in the innovation in the technology, with the access of technology, now we better understand how does the learning happen, right? So on the basis of this learning, which is neuroscience, with the learning from neuroscience, I would like to share these 6 ideas. These are being adopted by Joe Waller's book called Limitless Mind. Here is the copy of Limitless Mind. I will strongly recommend all of you. You can order this book online, or you can purchase this. This is a great resource for parents, for teachers, and everyone. But I will try to summarize the key learnings from this book. So we all want our kids to reach at their maximum potential, right? And what are the key things that we can do as a parent, as an educator, to actually unleash unleash a child's true potential? So these are the 6 keys. I would request all of the parents to please write down whatever you feel is important. It's important that we start, we keep a note of it, because it's great to listen in a video, but then when we really want to implement it, if we don't write it, there is a very high chance we will never implement it, right? So a request to all the parents, you might note it down in whatever way it's comfortable to you. But these are the 6 keys, and I will be speaking about all the keys. These are 6 keys which we as a parent should know, and I think all these 6 keys will help us unleash the true potential of our child. So let me start one by one. The first is brain growth, right? Now, many of us believe that the size of the brain is actually fixed, right? Or brain is learning at a certain age, and the learning is usually associated only with the idea that when we were in school, we were learning. After school, the learning and the education is over, right? But now this is not true anymore. And the way the technology, the way the innovation is happening, we now need to learn continuously throughout our life, right? And as a parent, it's very important that we believe, and we need to know this, that our brain is continuously changing, right? Whenever this idea that your student might be at a particular learning level right now, a student might be excelling in a particular field, or might not be able to learn a particular skill, but this is the current skill right now. The good news is that the brain continuously learn every day, right? Even now when we are interacting, when we were listening to Father, we were learning something, and the brain was working in a way that, it's changing its structure, its internal working every time when we learn something. So the good news is that we are continuously learning, and as a parent, we need to know this, that whenever we learn any new thing, 3 things happen. Either in the brain, a new pathway is created, or an existing pathway is strengthened, or we connect from one pathway to the next pathway. What I mean by this is that whenever we listen to any video, whenever we listen to any person, whenever we read any books, whenever we listen to any interaction, or whenever we experience anything, our brain is continuously learning. And as we learn new things, it keeps on updating. It either can connect with our previous learning, or it can connect with completely new learning, right? So what we as a parent need to know, if we really want to unleash the child's true potential, we should have this message given to a child that we are continuously learning, right? Which means every day, every moment we are learning, and every moment is a great opportunity to help the child. Now, as the schools are moving into an online mode because of the pandemic situation, right? You can do a lot of things as a parent to ensure that the learning does not stop, because even while a student is participating, is experiencing, is reading a book, is experiencing, or is observing their parents doing something, they are learning continuously, okay? So learning is a continuous process, and to really unlock, the key idea is very simple. Every time we learn, our brain forms, strengthens the existing the neural pathway, right? So this idea that, a learning ability of a child is never fixed, and it is applicable to even you also as an adult, right? You might feel that, okay, I'm not comfortable with this particular subject, but I have to teach it. Trust me, parents, this really works. We all can learn at any age, at any time, and anything, right? Today, if you decide you want to learn something, you can learn it, because the brain, the evidence from neuroscience proves it, that we can learn anything at any age. And this message needs to be very, very much well inculcated with the students, that learning is happening all the time, which means you as a parent, because students learn the most by looking at the parent. As Father mentioned, that school is the first home, school is a continuous home, right? They spend the most of the time with you guys, with the parents. So in the family, if we have a culture that, we are very sportive and we really enjoy the learning process, no matter what we are learning, if this message is being given to students, they really, really is a great key to unlock their potential. Learning, everyone, every time you can learn. Okay, that's the key number one, the lesson number one today. Number two is struggle, right? Now, there is a common belief that, for example, if a teacher is taking a class or if a student is trying to learn something, let's say they are in class 1 and 2, they wanted to learn, let's say, addition, subtraction, right? And you feel that if you compare students, you will feel that some students learn it fast, some students learn it, they take their own time, right? And I have seen this more and more, is that like we usually assume that if a student is not struggling, it means he's a bright student or he's a smart student, right? But neuroscience gives a different evidence altogether. There's a lot of study among with top educators, top mathematicians, top entrepreneurs, top business person, top bureaucrats. And what is the common thing is that every time you struggle to learn, you actually learn more, right? And if you're not struggling, it simply means you're not learning. This is very important for parents, because many a times you might feel that, okay, my student has understood this part, and he's understood or she has understood it in a very in a very less time, and he's doing great or she is doing great. It's very important that we give them a higher order challenging thing, because the goal is that at the age when the school students are students, it's important that they struggle. And here the struggle does not mean the struggle of survival, the struggle of working. It's simply the struggle in terms of you are putting your brain to think, you're putting your brain to learn something, right? So the key learning here is that the times we are struggling and making mistakes are the times for brain growth. Now there are neuroscience evidence which says, they take the scan of the brain and which says that whenever you struggle or whenever you have even made mistakes, your brain growth happens more, right? For example, if you give a child something, and this idea of celebrating mistakes and celebrating struggle is very important, because in our society what is happening, if someone is making mistakes, we're not encouraging them, right? Because we feel that no, you're not allowed to take mistakes. With time, what happens? Students don't want to make mistakes. If they're not making mistakes, means that they're not trying, right? So whenever you're coaching your student, you're helping a student, whenever they do a mistake, ask them, try to understand, let them experience, let them understand, let them reflect what they did wrong, right? As a parent, we need to understand that whenever they make a mistake, they're actually learning, because as per neuroscience, whenever you make mistake, whenever you make struggle, or whenever you're struggling with some concept, you're actually learning. It doesn't mean that you should struggle in all the concepts. What I'm trying to mean is that we have to give them challenging things. For this, I have a very strong suggestion. Please play games with students, play puzzles with your kids. The more you play puzzles, you will find that now they're very young, class 1 and 2, they will be relatively more sportive to play. But as they go grow older, as they go to higher classes, you will see that they will not be participating in many puzzles and activities. It's because of this conditioning, because they have a feeling that if you make mistakes, it's a bad thing, right? So please encourage this and try to understand that whenever they're making mistakes, whenever they're struggling, they're actually learning and the brain growth is happening. That's the learning number 2. Learning number 3 is mindset. Most of people used to believe that IQ, the intelligence, will define a person's success, right? A lot of people ask me, what are the things that help you to crack a particular entrance exam, or what are the things. I have interviewed many people who have excelled in a particular exam or have excelled in a particular skill. It may be singing, it may be dancing, it may be sports, or they have excelled in their field. One very common thing is what I observed was it's the mindset, right? What is the mindset here? Mindset that everyone can learn and you can learn every time. And the brain that we have is not fixed. So Carol Dweck, the professor whose photos I have shown, which is it's her idea, which says that there are 2 kinds of mindset. One is fixed mindset, another is growth mindset. Fixed mindset is a belief that you believe that everything is fixed. Like it's like eyes. The size of the eyes does not change as we grow older. It remains almost same, right? So most of the people believe that I cannot learn anymore. I cannot excel this. I'm not a math person. I'm not a person who can improve in his writing skills. I'm not a person who can learn cooking, who can learn driving, right? We have a fixed mindset attitude towards certain things. These kind of behaviors are called having a fixed mindset. On the other hand, growth mindset means that you believe that you can learn anything, and brain is not like eyes, brain is like muscle, right? And the more you train the brain, that means the more you go to gym, you know that your health will be, or more you do exercise, you know that you will be physically fit. Similarly, the more challenges you give to brain, brain will also grow. Grow here means not in terms of size, in terms of more connections between more connections and more intelligence and more synapses happening, right? So what I wanted to say here is that it's very important that we inculcate in our student a growth mindset. Growth mindset kya bolta hai? It says that you can learn, everyone can learn, and brain is like a muscle, right? And it's all related to our belief, right? When we change our beliefs, everything changes, right? It's very important that student has to believe, right? And we as a parent have to believe that yes, you can learn, you can grow, and you are amazing. Just believe that, and the same you have to believe for yourself. You are nice, you are good, you are going good. And you see, the moment you change your belief, the outcomes also will keep on changing and will impact the outcome. So there has been a very interesting exercise which says that, so they have taken a group of people who used to go to gym, right? And the people who have not used to go to gym, one set of people used to believe that they are getting fit, and the other set of people used to believe they're not getting fit, but they're going gym more, or they're spending more time in a physical activity. What was research suggests was that, what the outcome was that the person who believes that they are getting fit every day are actually getting fit, even with less number of less duration of doing this workouts, right? What does it mean? It means that if you believe on something, you will see it is happening. It will start happening in your life. And this is a very interesting study about mindset. All amazing entrepreneurs, all amazing business people, all amazing educators, environmentalists, they all have one very amazing thing in common with them, is they believe what they do. And once they believe what they do, and they have a growth mindset towards it, and the outcome is very different, right? So as a parent, you can inculcate this growth mindset among the student. How you can do that? There are a lot of ideas to do that. Just one or two ideas is that you believe in them, and you make them understand that yes, they can learn on their own. In this particular time, you also might be believing that how will they learn in online mode, right? Now, if you start believing that yes, we can learn in an online mode, teachers are doing amazing work, students are doing amazing work, if we just have to make them believe. And if they believe that no, it's not a scarcity, it's abundance. We're able to still connect to each other. We're still able to learn. We're still able to learn from the teachers, learn from the online medium. You will see the magical thing happening, right? So please try to inculcate this growth mindset. The next fourth key is multiplicity. Now, what is the multiplicity? Now, this right side diagram might look a bit confusing to you, but I just wanted to say you one thing. When you do a simple addition problem like 5 plus 8 is equal to something, right? So whenever you do this simple addition, what was observed in the brain is that in your brain, multiple paths get connected, right? What I wanted to say, what is the takeaway from here is that as a student, we need to learn, or as an individual, we learn from multiple dimensions together. That means it's not only that we need to learn only by reading, or right? The learning also has to be by doing, by playing, right? The more dimension you add to your learning, the better it is, because brain loves multi-dimensions. Whenever you are doing addition, your visual path is also getting activated. What does it mean? It means that whenever you learn anything, it's very important that a child is being learning from all different senses, right? So whenever please ensure they do something physically, they do something where they're using they're consciously putting some time in thinking, they're putting their hands, right? So handwork is also happening. They're doing physical work. They are listening. They are hearing. All senses should be activated, and you have to, as a parent, create different structure for that, right? So multiplicity is another thing. Is the fourth key. Now, to do this, I will just do a small activity with all of you. So I will be showing an image to all of you, and you have to tell me in the chat box how many dots are there. Okay? So are we ready? So let me show an image. And I will show an image and I will quickly take it out. You have to reply in the chat box how many dots are there. Yeah, so please reply. How many dots are there? Okay. Now, many of you are writing 7. Some of you have written 2 or 8 also in between, but most of you are writing 7, right? Some are writing 8 also. Now, see what happened. I would like to ask this simple question, like, maybe like when you counted 7, when you have observed the 7, how do you counted the 7 dots? Because this is not like 2 plus 5 is 7, right? It's a visual picture. And how have you counted 7? Right? I'm sure all of you might have used different approach to get the answer 7, right? Some of you might have done it in a way that because now we have a less time, as in like, and it's a broader big group. So what I will do is I will simply show here, like, some of you might have counted, might have seen this 3 dot here, right? Some of you might have seen this 3 dot here, and 1 dot here. Many of you might have seen a triangle here and this 4 dots here. Some of you might have seen the 5 dots at the top and the 2 at the bit below. Some of you might have seen the 3 dot here and the 4 dot here together, right? What I wanted to say with this activity, I would like you to do this again. You can take a screenshot of this. Do this again with every family member, right? Just show the card and then just remove it. And you will see that everyone sees the 7 dots in a different way, right? The simple 7 dots will be seen differently to different people. What I wanted to say is that everyone thinks differently, right? So it's very important to appreciate this fact that your child, if you have 2 children, they both will be thinking differently, and it's important that both of the things get acknowledged, right? So there is no right and wrong answer, but here what I wanted to say is that everyone thinks differently. The same object, the same book, the same lecture, the lecture that I'm giving here, the same talk will have a different impact on different people, right? And your student is also like that. What you are thinking, what they are thinking might not be the same. So it's very important that unless you have a dialogue, you discuss with them, what are you thinking, until you ask them to share their learning, you will never be sure whether they are thinking it in a right way or in a wrong way, or how can we contribute to it. So as a parent, there's a great thing that you can do is encourage the communication, right? You should also ask to teach students, what have you learned in the class? What have you learned from the book? What have you learned from this activity? What have you learned from this experience, right? And the moment you talk, you will be shocked and surprised that they think really different compared to what we were thinking, right? So I strongly encourage you to do this. Next is flexibility and depth, right? Now, please try to understand, this is very important. Most of us think that a student, if they're doing it in a fast, if they're doing it with a great speed, they're amazing. Speed to aa jayega. Don't worry about the speed at this stage. What is more important is that please try to encourage and ensure that are they understanding the things or not. They might be able to do a lot of things in the classes, but please try to focus. And they also need to understand that whether they are understanding a concept or not. Because if they understand the concept, the learning would be way more better. Please try to do this. Be flexible. Flexibility is important, and depth is more important than speed. Okay. And the last and the final thing is collaboration. So it's very important that they learn this art of collaboration. So these are the 6 keys which are very, very important. And how can you increase collaboration? Like, as a parent, help them connect with people, help them connect with ideas, help them connect with as many experiences as possible. The more they collaborate, the more they learn from others, the more they will learn, right? So it's very important. Now the situation is a bit different, but still you can arrange Zoom calls, you can arrange video calls with your peers, with your friends. Let them connect, right? Let them experience, let them understand what they can do together. If you are living in an apartment, if you're living with neighbors together, or if you're in your home, you have multiple things. You, as a parent, you can collaborate and you can together learn a lot of things. This is important that students learn collaboration. That's very, very important thing. So these are the few things which I wanted to share with all of you with regards to the 6 key ideas from neuroscience. And I'm hopeful that some of it might be very helpful for you. But then I thought, as a parent, if you know about these 6 things, probably you can go deeper into it. And I am hopeful that this will help you a lot. These are my contact details and email ID. These are the 2 organizations that I run. Feel free to reach me. I will love to contribute in whatever way I can. So that's it from my side. If you have any question answers, I would love to address them.
We shall have a question answer round now. Parents may ask their questions either in the chat box or they can type them and put forward their queries.
এইকেইটা আকৌ ইউজ কৰিছে ন এইকেইটা তোৰ কালাৰ নাই আকৌ
So we have a question. Yes, sir. A parent has asked, can we do live classes in Google Meet? So can you share any link for learning curve? Dinesh sir, your mic is on mute. Kindly unmute yourself. Yes, Dinesh sir. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you now.
Yeah. So there were a few questions. One was, any link for learning curve? This is Agastya, right? So I think class 1 and 2, what you can do is, I would strongly encourage you to actually, if possible, try to give students puzzles, right? Puzzles at this stage and playing games, especially play board games. If possible, play traditional board games with them. Any games which involve making strategy are a great tool for learning at this stage. So I would strongly encourage. There are many online websites where you can actually learn about many puzzles. I would specially recommend maybe 2 puzzles which you can use. I'm just citing it down. The name is Kenken, Kenken. Kenken is a Japanese puzzle. It was made by a Japanese teacher. And it's a great puzzle where they learn about basic number sense. It's a great family puzzle. Even I play with my family members. We have this 30 minutes time where all of us sit together and play some sort of puzzles and games. I feel it's a great feel. Like, if you really wanted to do this, I would strongly encourage play games with your child, because that's a great time to learn and have a family time where you spend 30 minutes every day. You block it like the way you block it for your traveling, your transporting, your food, like that. You block 30 minutes, and where you just sit with them and play games. Puzzles are a great way. You can also play a puzzle called Tangram. Tangram is a dissection puzzle, which you can Google online and you can create on your own. And if you want more puzzles, I would love to help you. I have a lot of puzzles in my collection, and I can share some of the links to you. I hope I answered your question. Let's go to the next. What is the next question? Yeah, nothing specific. Thank you for enriching session.
So there's a question.
Any book for child mentoring? Yeah. See, I would suggest, if you really wanted to learn about parenting, I would strongly suggest, father mentioned a very important point. There is no school of parenting. We just suddenly, we have just become parents, right? Now, raising a child is not an easy thing, right? I would strongly suggest you, there are a lot of amazing books on parenting. I personally liked one which is based on Indian context, which is called Perfect Parenting. Okay, let me show you if I have the book with me. It's called Perfect Parenting by Shashant Kalra. I think the image would be reflected. It's called Perfect Parenting. It's affordable. A very real, I would say, very practical advice is what is being given in this book. Another is that if you listen, there is something called as conscious parenting. That's a great work done by Professor Dr. Shefali. So she's a clinical psychologist. Her work is on conscious parenting. I would strongly suggest that. please share the name of the book you have referred. Jit Amritsar, it's Limitless Mind was the first book, and the other was Perfect Parenting, and the next one was Conscious Parenting. How to increase concentration in a child? See, these 6 things which I have shared broadly classifies everything. If you really want to increase the concentration in child, a very important thing is why a child does not have a concentration, right? Like if you give them a game to play, it's engaging, it's fun, right? So whatever activity, however you want to teach them, it's very important that we really engage them. If they are engaged with the whole process of learning, concentration is like how the time will go, they will never know it, right? So if they're not having the concentration, it's probably because they're not enjoying or they're not engaged with the learning. It's very important as a parent, we have to ensure that they have a great time learning and they have a great, experience with the learning, right? You can do a lot of activities, you can do a lot of games, you can play a lot of, you can read, encourage students to read books, give them good books, give them good materials. This will really increase the concentration in a child. How to teach a slow learner? So first, Ishan sir, like there is nothing like a slow learner or a fast learner, because as I mentioned that's the reason why I have highlighted these 6 keys, which says that speed does not matter. Even the most amazing scientists or amazing thinkers are slow thinkers, right? They take time to think. Like for example, if you take my example also, I am also a slow learner, right? When I used to prepare for my JEE exam, when I was doing my classes in my engineering college, when still now, that many of times when I attend these live sessions, when I attend these classes, it takes time, right? I take time to internalize the whole thing. But then what I've realized and what I've learned also is that you might take some time. If a child is a slow learner, what does it simply mean? Is that he's taking or she's taking some time to learn, right? And we as a parent need to give them that extra time, okay? So, and please inculcate this idea that you can learn, your brain is learning, especially to slow learners. It's really, really helpful when they know about this, that how does the brain work, right? Brain is like a muscle. The more I work, the more I will learn. So there is nothing like fixed there. So I hope it will help you.
Thank you, sir. We shall now move forward with the session. I now request our coordinator, Ms. Sanyukta, to begin her presentation on the academic policy.
Am I audible? Good evening,
Yes,
everyone. Thank you, Priyam ma'am, and thank you, parents, for joining us once again for this PTM, the first of this academic session 2021 and 22. So at SFS, we have always believed that school and the parents are partners in progress. More so now that we are back in the online space due to the second wave of COVID. But whatever may be the platform or the medium of instruction, we aim to improve the academic as well as the behavioral performances of our students. So what we believe is that learning should never stop, and it should be seamless and self-regulated. So without taking much time, I would quickly highlight some of the important points and strategies and activities that we will continue doing in this academic year and in this online platform till the time the school reopens in the regular normal manner. So as you all have already know, or as you all already know, that we have started the interactive online classes using the Zoom platform, and we will be using the Google Classroom for submission of homework, giving materials to students, as well as conducting all kinds of examinations. So it's a request to all the parents that please get familiar with the Zoom platform as well as the Google Classroom. Every subject teacher is going to explain how to use the Google Classroom, and they will be sharing Google codes with all of you so that you can join those classrooms, and be a part of all the learning that is happening in the school. So one more request to all the parents that since we are using the Zoom platform, kindly join the Zoom sessions, the classes in the morning using the name of the child along with the class and section. It would be very helpful to stop any kind of those circumstances which may arise. So please join using the name of the child and let the teachers also get familiar with the students. Now, some more important instructions. Now that the students are at home, I would request all of you that if it is possible, let them wear the uniform in the morning, give them a bath, let them sit in the morning by 8:15, let them be a part of the classes. The idea here is to make them feel as if they are a part of the classroom, even though they are sitting at home. This will help them understand the importance of classes and also understand that classes are important and it's a routine which is necessary to be followed. So class 1 parents, as of now, since you have not got the uniform, it is okay. But once you get it, make sure that your child wears the uniform for the online classes. Another important thing, now that the students are at home, the writing that happens in the classroom is not happening or not going to happen. So here, the parents will have to play a very important role. Whatever classwork as well as homework that the teachers are giving. So please ensure that the child writes it even during the evening hours and submit it in the Google Classroom. This habit of writing is very, very important because we have something called the RDH, the reading, dictation, and handwriting, which is a part of the 3 languages, Assamese, Hindi, and English. So without writing, it will be difficult for the child to cope up with the writing skills that will be taking place now in classes 1 and 2. One more important thing that I would like to share is that the art classes, most of the classes will be live classes except for a few, and that will be clearly mentioned in the timetable. If it's a recorded classes, teachers will share the link of the video, recorded video, which we upload in our official YouTube channel. So kindly go through the video when you get the time and try to understand what the teacher is trying to explain. And but for art classes, the teacher will only be sharing the recorded videos, but that does not mean that there will be no homework. Whatever art that the teacher is sharing in the form of video, there will be a Google Classroom for that also, and the students will be given a time band to submit the artwork in the respective Google Classrooms. There are internal assessments happening. There are going to be internal assessments happening throughout the year. So kindly follow these protocols. It will help the children be better learners. There are 2 subjects for which you have got books. That is general knowledge and moral science. Now, general knowledge and moral science, as of now, we are not going to conduct live classes, but that does not mean that the child cannot read these books. Please use these books as bedtime stories. Let them go through it, read these. It will help them learn something. And there is also one more thing which the teachers will explain more during the live classes. That is chapter test. After the completion of every chapter for every subject, there is going to be a chapter test, which will be for 12 marks. 12 marks, out of which 10 marks will be the written part and 2 marks is for handwriting cleanliness. So this chapter test will help the child prepare for the upcoming examinations. And these tests will all be conducted in the Google Classroom platform. The teachers will be sharing the time, the schedule, whichever it is going to be. So they will be sharing it in the WhatsApp groups. We are going to introduce something called integrated project this year. Keeping in mind the NEP and the project-based learning, which helps the child to become a self-regulated learner, we are going to start something called integrated project. For every subject, the child will be given a short project and they have to do the project at home and submit as a whole to the class teacher. And there will be a theme which the teachers will explain very clearly to the students. So please do not panic. It will be a very small project for class 1 and 2, but the teachers, subject teachers will explain it. It will be done once in the term, that is till half yearly. And again, one more time we will do till term 2. English. Now, English as a book, you will get 2 or 3 books. One will be a workbook, one will be a textbook, as well as a grammar book. The literature includes the textbook as well as the workbook, and the English too includes the grammar book. Together, we call it as English as a subject. In the exam, you will be getting a paper, a question paper for English, which will have two parts, English 1 and English 2. So it will be given equal weightage so that we give equal emphasis to both grammar as well as literature. We will also start something called the morning speech. Ideally, we do it in the classroom. Every child during one term is given the opportunity to speak a few lines on a topic of his or her choice. Since now we are in the online platform, we would request, we will be giving out the roll numbers to the students, and the students will have to make a short video on any topic and then they can send it to the class teacher. The class teachers will be explaining this further during the live classes. Similarly, we also have something called presentation for every subject. The students will be given a topic and the children will be preparing a few lines. They have to say a few lines on the given topic. And since it's an online platform, it can be shot in the form of a short video and shared with the class teacher, subject teacher. Except for computer. Computer will have a written presentation. Finally, one important thing that I would like to share is that the chapter test, all the examinations that we are going to conduct, the questions that we are going to set are going to be all concept-based. Please, the idea here is to discourage memorizing answers, to discourage rote learning. So what we are going to do is we will be testing the concept of the child, how the child is able to utilize that concept, apply that concept, and write an answer. For this, the teachers will be sharing a lot of question and answers through various examinations, through chapter tests, to prepare the child for the main examinations. So please don't panic when you see the question paper that all the questions are not directly from the textbook. It will not be. A few questions will be there which will test the concept of the child. So we would rather want the child to understand the concept and write something on their own rather than memorizing it. So this is what I would like to share with all of you. One more important thing is that kindly update the, kindly keep your Disalite Connect updated and check it regularly for the syllabus as well as any other important information. With that, I would like to end it. My only request to the parents is let's be a little patient with the children. It's a little different time, and it's during this tiring times, let's hold their hands and let them sail properly in this academic journey, even though it's a little unusual this time. So with this, Priyam ma'am, I'm handing over the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Sanyukta. We shall now take up any queries or questions by parents. Parents are requested to send their queries in the chat box. Ma'am, there is a question by one of the parents. Can we have a written document on the presentation?
Presentation, written document, exactly what is the parent trying to mean? Written document means the teacher will be sharing a topic based on the chapter which has been completed in that particular subject, and the student is supposed to say a few lines on that given topic.
Ma'am, there is another question. Can we record the online classes in Zoom?
It can be done, but the issue is the internet. When we record the classes, it becomes, the files are very heavy, and to share it in any other platform will be very, very difficult. These are 45-minute classes. It will be very difficult to share.
Yeah, and the parents, I have seen a question. whether we can have Google Meet instead of Zoom. Parents, we have tried everything actually. We have tried Zoom, we have tried Google Meet, we have tried Microsoft Team, all the platforms we have tried at some point of time. Finally, we have realized that Zoom is the best friend that we can have. It has more features. Even today, you look at the parents' meeting, it went so smoothly without a problem. On the other hand, 2 days back, I was having another meeting with Google Meet. It was not as good as what it is today. So we have tried and tested Zoom. So we would like to continue with the Zoom as of now. Then there was a question whether we can have recorded classes. Teachers, parents, it would be very difficult for us to change the schedule in the school because we are having online classes for 1 to 12. And when we are having 1 to 12 classes, there is overlapping of the teachers from one grade to another. And then managing the time is a huge issue. In the school today, we have 3 timetables. One is the normal timetable, which will be prepared for the normal days, which you will find in the Desalite Connect. Second one is the classes for the 50% students in the school, which we have prepared. And the third one is the one sister has been sharing with you from yesterday. That is for the online classes. So it's a huge task, and more or less we have finalized it, and we would like to continue with it in the same manner. Of course, we know there are challenges, there are difficulties, there are pain involved because some of you are working, some of you are not at home all the time. But please be rest assured that we are with you. We hope that this online thing won't continue for too long, at least in this year. So we seek your cooperation in this regard. Then there was another request whether we can have moral science and GK. Definitely, if you want, we can have it. Not at all an issue. But we are also a bit concerned about that screen time of the students. If you go for another 2 more periods, it would definitely increase the screen time, and probably that is not the best of the thing that we would like to have it. So we thought of starting with the serious classes in the online platform, and then if it is required, definitely we can think of having GK, moral science, and so on for the classes. Yeah, parents, and I have a few more suggestions to make. First and foremost, I really want to thank Sanyukta Miss for explaining everything, the coordinator. She has explained in detail all the academic policies of the school. Now, I would like to request the parents, please don't get frightened. Please do not get frightened about all the academics that we are doing in the school. And I could see on the face of some of the parents that when ma'am explained about the morning speech and the presentation, I know most of the times it is the parents who are going to do. So please do not take any extra tension on that. You choose a simple topic and ask them to speak about your father, ask them to speak about your mummy, daddy, whatever is a cat or whatever is the easiest of thing. Ask them to speak for half a minute and then just record it and then give to the teacher. Teacher will just do a kind of evaluation. These are the ways in which we are trying to help them to learn something. So please do not have a competitive mind on that. And we are not going to publish it anywhere. It is just a way of getting them involved and getting the students engaged. I have a few more suggestions to make you. First and foremost, Desalite Connect is your friend. Desalite Connect is the mobile app of the school. We have been using it for quite some time. And during the days of pandemic, we have tried to upgrade the existing version. And it is still in the upgrading mode. And please keep upgrading it from time to time. Most of the features are already there in the mobile app, and some features are there in the web portal, but still the upgradation is going on. And please do not be in a hurry, but then a lot of things are there. What is important for you, it is there right now. The parents profile, students profile, attendance is there. So, and then examination report card, all those things will be upgraded and uploaded from time to time as and when the need arises. But then please keep updating the Desalite Connect mobile app. That is very important. Please do not forget the password. Even the school fee, transportation, bus fee, everything you can pay through that. And then please keep upgrading it. Secondly, Absenteeism is a problem in our school. Absenteeism. If a student is absent in the school, they will get a minus point. Now, please do not worry so much about the minus point. It is important, but that is not everything. It is only a way of motivating the children that you should be present for the school. Please do not read anything more than that. It's just a way of telling them, please ensure that you are in the school every day attending classes. Now, there was a question in the chat box I found. If a child is present for 2 periods and absent for 1 period, will he or she be marked as absent? Yes, definitely he or she will be marked as absent. If the child is present for 3 periods and absent for 1 period, then he or she will be marked as absent. Now, this is the policy that we follow, but then as I said, it will be updated in the Desalite Connect in 48 hours time, 2 days time. And then in case you find that there is a mistake or anything, you can contact your class teacher, and then in another 48 hours time, they will try to rectify the mistake. So please do not be worried about it. Updating the attendance of the students, that to online classes of around 2000 and more students every day is not an easy task. If it is in the school, it is easier, but then in an online format, it is quite a challenging task. Yet we are trying to do that to motivate the students. So in case there are any minor mistakes, please do not be worried about it. Don't be anxious about it. We will have a solution for every issue that will come across. And in the Desalite Connect, you will find a feature called the contact to the school. Now, if you have an issue, it is not necessary for you to come to the school every time. It is COVID time, so we need to be careful. And then in case you have an issue, you can just contact the school, write your issue there, and then it will be taken care of. In 98% of the cases, it will be taken care of. But then in case of any technical problem, there could be issues, then you can contact. Otherwise, contact the school is a good platform for you to be in touch with the school whenever you have any issues. And as ma'am said, whenever you join for the Zoom classes, please join by using the name of the child, because we had some issues in the past. Some people, some outsiders, they log in the classes and then they disturb the classes. So we do not want that issue to happen. So please ensure that they log in by using the name of the child. So please, when you do the registration or sign up, please do it by using the name of the child. Class 1 students, your uniform is not yet come. Just now also I spoke to the person who is supplying uniform from Kolkata. He told me Kolkata is closed, there is no lockdown, but then no workers are available. They said the situation is very bad, but then still they are trying to work it out. And I hope you will be getting the uniform at the earliest. But then until you get the uniform, I'm sure you will be, please be at peace, and then you will get a good uniform. So please do not be worried about it. Yeah, these are the few things, parents, I wanted to share with you. Now, in case you have anything more, you can use the chat box, or if you, sorry, Arif, can you unmute everyone? Maybe 1 or 2 parents, we can take a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Parents, please everyone do not speak because, we are so many of us. So in case of anything, any of you would like to speak, you can speak now. Okay.
Yes, sir. I have a few things to discuss.
Yes, yeah.
Actually, this is regarding online classes. Actually, few of the students of class 1 is not from some other schools where there were very few online classes last year. For example, my son has hardly online classes last year in Maria Montessori House of Children. So he may not be accustomed to it. So it may take some time. So request the teachers go with us for a few days.
Parents, parents, please mute yourself.
All the parents are requested to mute the microphones.
Please mute yourself. Okay. Parents, please do not be worried. We know that especially class 1 students, they are not familiar with Zoom and other platforms. Teachers will be there to help you. So please.
Keyboard below, up, down, and
Whatever issues that you have, it will be taken care. Please do not be worried. Okay. In case parents, in case you find any difficulty, please contact your class teacher. I'm sure you have the phone number of your class teacher, and then class teacher will take care of your needs. Please do not be worried about anything. We all understand the challenges that you are facing. You know the difficulties that the school is facing. We'll work together, and we shall ensure that everything is happening in a very, very smooth manner. Yeah, Priyam, shall we wind up? So, dear parents, on my behalf, let me sincerely thank Dinesh Lahoti for inspiring us with his beautiful message. He is a person who always comes out with something new, a well-learned and educated person. And he can be a good friend for any one of you at any point of time, be it for children, be it for grown-up. He is a person always there to help anybody. So please, I really want to thank Dinesh for animating our parents and giving us a beautiful session. As well as let me thank each and every one of you, parents, teachers, students, for being present for this meeting. And it was a beautiful meeting. So many of you were present in this evening. And when we see so many of you being present for the meeting, that is a huge encouragement for every one of us. And you know, there is one thing that holds every one of us together, teachers and the parents, and that is the future of the children. We all stand together when it comes to their future, because we are here for them and the parents are also here for them. So when school and the parents work together, the outcome in the child will be much better and bigger. And I'm sure for class 1 and 2 parents, even though you are not so much connected with the school physically, still when you are so much be in touch with the school and the teachers, I'm sure the outcome will be much better. So challenges are there, no doubt about it. But I hope maybe in another 2-3 months time, things will be much better. And then all of us will be back to the school, and we are just waiting for that. Just waiting to receive every one of you back to the school. So once again, thank you so much. It was nice interacting with every one of you. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you.
As we have come to the end of today's first parent-teachers meeting of the year, I would like to thank all the parents for taking their time from the busy schedule and actively participating in the meeting. I would also like to thank our resource person, Mr. Dinesh Lahoti, for his valuable input. I would also like to thank our principal, Father George Thomas, all the teachers, coordinator, and the HODs. With this, we would conclude today's session with the school anthem.